Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here today, and today I'm going to be doing another technique using shaving cream. So I did a video not long ago showing you how to make beautiful panels with using shaving cream and ink, and so you can check out that video. I'll link it in the description, and it'll probably be at the end of this video too. So anyway, today I'm going to bring in stencils. So I thought, I wonder what would happen if I did the same technique with the shaving cream and ink, and I'm also going to use pigment powder. And so I'm going to try that, and I'm going to put a stencil on top of my card first and then smush that in. So the two stencils I'm using today, I'm going to make two panels I'm using these stencils. This one is called Water Drops, and this one is called Starstruck, and they're both from Gina Designs. I'm going to do the Starstruck one first. So let me get that out. And then I'm going to prepare my card panel. These are just quarter sheet pieces of cardstock that I've cut down. And they are, I believe they feel like 65-pound weight cardstock. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to take some tape. This is mint tape. I like to use this because it holds things down, but yet when you pull it off, it does not tear your paper. So you want a tape like that. There's pink tape, there's any kind of low-tack tape. And just tape that on the back side of the stencil. All right. And then what I'm going to do is put some shaving cream in my dish. I'm going to do this off camera because I have a defective can and it will take about 5 minutes. Normally, if the can wasn't defective, it would probably take 15 seconds. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and you can see I got my shaving cream in here, and I just took this palette knife. It's just a plastic flexible palette knife, and I smoothed it out a bit. And you want to have some kind of squeegee or some kind of scraper tool ready to go. And if I didn't mention this earlier, it is messy, so just be mindful of that. So to this, we're going to add ink. And I thought for the stars I would stick with blue because where the stencil is, you know, there will be some white, hopefully, in the background. So I have from, I'm trying to see where this is from, Recollections, turquoise, and this is a pigment powder. Okay, so I'm just going to open this pot, and I'm going to just sprinkle this here and there. It has a shimmer to it. Okay, and I don't want to totally cover it. And then I'm also going to pull in some Tim Holtz Ranger Distress Spray Stain, and this is in Kitsch Flamingo. And I'm just going to open this, and I'm just going to put some down randomly, and I could spray it. Let me see if that will, there we go. Let's just spray some puddles. It kind of looks like cotton candy right now. And then we're going to take the palette knife and just run it through. Just kind of want to work the ink and the pigment powder into the shaving cream just a bit. All right, that's all I'm going to do. And then take our stencil and cardstock, and remember we taped it to the back, so we want to put the side down into the ink and just press it down, and just make sure you include the corners. Just make sure you get it pressed in. And then you just want to lift the stencil up, put it over off to the side, and then this is where you're going to take your scraper tool, and I'm going to see if I can zoom in a bit for you. Going to hold the top of the stencil, and I just want to scrape all that shaving cream off. Okay, and I'm just going to put it to the side here. Alright. Oops. Maybe one more for good measure. And then, let me wipe my hands off. I'm going to pick up the stencil. Carefully pick it up off of your card panel. And there you have your brought it out, scraped it, and it had a very cool swirly background. But this one gives you the design of the stencil, and it has a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the side. I'm going to take the tape off, and I'm just going to let it dry. And then we'll come back and we will do the other stencil and see what that looks like. All right, stay tuned. All right, I've cleaned up, and now I'm going to add some spray stain and salvaged patina. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. I'm trying to darken this up a bit. And then I'm also going to try Salty Ocean. And I think this one, my nozzle is defective. Nope, it's good. All right, very good. And maybe I also have fossilized amber. Let's see what that does. I think this is the one. Yeah, this one is a defective nozzle. So let me just go ahead and splatter some on and see what happens. I do like this color. It kind of dries back like an amber, goldish. It's really pretty. All right, and then just like before, we're going to swirl this. I am so sorry. Let me zoom out so you can see. I'm gonna swirl this around. I got all my colors in. Okay. And I've already prepared a piece of cardstock onto the stencil, so I've taped that on, and then this is the front. And actually, I'm going to put a little bit of tape up here as well into the corner. I didn't do that last time, and it was okay. It still worked. I'm going to get this down a little bit better. Okay. All right. So in we go into the pool. Smush it. Got a bunch of shaving cream on the back. Make sure that stencil gets pressed in. And then you want to go ahead and lift it. All right, and then we will scrape it. Let's see what we get. Oh boy, I really like this. This came out really cool. All right. So let's go ahead and peel off the stencil and the tape. It's nice with the tape because you can hold on to it without messing up the design, but look at that. Very, very cool. Now I'm gonna let these dry, and when they do, we'll make some cards out of them. Okay, it's been about half hour, 40 minutes. I just set these aside to dry, and they are dry. Now I will say this one had more of the pigment powders mixed in with the shaving cream, and they just didn't seem to dry. They pretty much, let me get this camera back in the focus, stayed on the surface. So I just took a light towel and dusted it. Now the color is still there, and I still like the way it turned out, and there's still some shimmer from the pigment powder, but it's just not as deep as it was, and that's okay. I was just experimenting with this, but my goal in this video was to see if I could do the shaving cream technique through a stencil, and it works. So it probably would work best with re-inkers or the spray stains like I was using. Now this one was just mostly spray stain and shaving cream, and I did not use any re-inkers like I did in my last video. So this worked much better than adding the pigment powders, but it's not a total fail. So I went ahead and cut these down to the size of a panel, which is 3 3/4 inch by 5. I did that for both of these. And then I cut out some other friends using these stamps from Gina Designs. The one I'm using for this background is from this stamp set called Elegant Thoughts, and I did Hello Friend, and I used the coordinating die to cut that out. And I also cut out an extra shadow layer and glued those together just to give it a little bit of dimension. And this stamp set I used Well Done. And again, I stamped it, and then I used a square die, just that I had, a nesting die that I had in my stash. Let me see if I can pull that and show you. Yeah. These are just some nesting dies, and I think I used the second one in, yes. And cut it out, and again, I cut out a second piece, glued it together just to give it some dimension. And then I took a black marker and went around just to finish the edge a little bit. And then I took a corner rounder and rounded the corners. So I thought Well Done could go on this background since it's a bunch of stars, and maybe it's like a congratulations type card. So these are going to be quick cards, and we'll just go ahead and put them together. And then I also pulled out some hearts. Let me show you what I do with those. So I have a dish that I just keep little odds and ends and little bits, and these hearts fell out of a panel die that I have, and I just save them. I don't throw any of this stuff away because these are really good to use for embellishments instead of like the pearls that have dimension, because sometimes, you know, those are really hard to put through the mail, and they can break if the mail isn't hand canceled. So I like these flat pieces that fall out of dies to save them. Even if you have little bits of circles, you know, you can use those as embellishments, and they're flat and they go through the postage, no problem. All right, so let's put this together. I have my black matte layer, and we will just add some liquid glue all over the back of the panel, and then I just center it. Let me get that in the camera view. Just center it to my eye, just making sure there's even margins all the way around, and then we can go ahead and lay it down. I'm going to turn that over and put my owl on it, and maybe even this, get something heavy on it just to hold it down. And then we will do the same here. I really, really like this color combination. My favorite colors are blues and greens anyway. So I really like this, and I'm just so thrilled that I can do the shaving cream technique through Stencils. This is one of my favorite stencils from Gina K. What did I say it was called? Water Drops stencil. I just really love it. All right, we'll give that a minute to adhere. And then, let's see, we'll go ahead. I'm just going to glue this flat because this probably will go through the mail, so I don't want to add too much dimension. That'll make sure that the postage stays regular postage, nothing extra special. And then, let's see, I'm going to take my Gina K pick tool. It's kind of nice to pick up these little elements that are small. Let's see. I like to group them in odd sets. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to pick it up, put some glue down, and drop it. Can you see that? Yeah, you're in the camera. It's really hard the way my camera is set up. It's an overhead camera, obviously, but it's pretty much at eye level with me, and so I don't always really see what you're seeing, and I have to really look up. I have to make myself look up and pay attention. All right, so let's set that aside, and then we will bring the Hello Friend in. Where's my reverse tweezers? Here we go. I said earlier, this is a messy technique, and I have ink all over my hands. You could wear gloves, but I'm just not a glove person. I don't know. Is anybody else like that? Even when I'm out in my garden, I gotta get my hands in the dirt. I don't know why I'm that way, but I have a hard time working in the garden with gloves on. You know, I make sure I wash up real good afterwards, but I just cannot work in the garden with bulky gloves on. Okay, so let's do the same. I'm gonna put just going to place them. We'll do the opposite on this one. We'll put one up here. Now let's just put the glue down first. This one is a little bit heavier, I guess. Here we go. Oops. And the other side of this is a little pick, so you can use that to move it around, but I was just using my fingers and that was just fine. So this tip that I'm using has a little, it's a wax tip. So you want to just go straight down on whatever you're picking up and then straight down again. And if it doesn't work, just get your fingers involved. Okay. And then, let's give that a second to dry. We'll go back to this one. And then I have my card bases here all ready to go. I've already scored them in half. They do need to reinforce that fold, so I'm just taking a bone folder. Okay, I'm just going right along the edge. And I'm going to trim off the little excess because my cardstock isn't exactly 8.5 by 11. There's a little bit of a lip on the edge there. We'll just get rid of that, and I'll have to do that the same for the other one. All right, let's get this onto the card base. And these are very easy cards, and really the shaving cream does not take long to dry at all. I just set it off to the side on a paper towel, and there you go. Sweet little card. Okay, and then let's do the same thing for this one. Give it a little haircut. And nail the landing, just like that. Pretty easy. Okay. All right. 2 easy cards with a very cool technique using shaving cream, some ink, some pigment powder, and a stencil. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up or a like. It just lets YouTube know who's watching, and they know then who to share it with. You know, other people that might like the same content. So I'll be listing all the supplies that I've used in this video in the description below. And that's it. That's my finished card project for today. All right. Thank you for watching. I put a video up every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So I hope you join me for another episode of Let's Make a Card. And also, if you like and subscribe and leave a comment, you will automatically be eligible for a future subscriber shout out. So be looking out for that. And again, you can find another link to the video at the end of this video. I think you might enjoy it. I will link the video I did previously on shaving cream backgrounds. So until we meet again, have a great week.